Welcome to the Business Awareness Hour with Lisa and the Music Man. Live from Studio C, here at Media Stations in Bohemia, New York.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Awareness Hour with the lovely Lisa and the sparkling music man himself, Norman. So we welcome everybody for being here. We're in Studio C. Did you know we're in Studio C?
You're in Studio C. I am videoing in. Sorry.
But you're supposed to be making like you're in the studio. So
well, I'm in the studio too.
maybe we should do the entry all over again.
Okay, let's get restarted.
Okay.
Well, we've got Kathy here, and
Kathy,
I think
who?
we
Who's
should
Kathy?
just bring her on in. And is Steve
that
going to join us
Kathy
too?
Rex?
He's going to
From
change
Rick's
his clothes and then he'll come say hi.
Steve's coming?
Okay.
We got a surprise guest.
Yay.
All right.
That'll be
surprise
good.
Guest. Excellent. So, Kathy, welcome to the Business Awareness Hour. I've known you now for, I think, about a year.
Has it been that long?
I think so. Maybe not. Time
When did
flies.
Adam have you come in?
My book came out this summer, so in July.
In July. Okay,
But I knew you
that's more
before
like
the
it.
book came out, right? Well, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about Rex Enterprises and about your work history, and I guess Steve's work history as well when he gets to the table. But tell you how you got started. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, this is my husband, Steve.
Hey,
Hi,
Steve.
Steve.
Steve, you got to get a chair. Your knees are going to be killing you.
Yeah, you'll need a chair.
We've been business partners for 35 years, and it started in 1993 when we started an Amway business, actually.
Well, how'd you guys meet?
We were both instructors at the Air Force Academy in the athletic department. We met her right before she went to the '88 Olympics.
Yeah, she was just telling us about. Tell us that. Let's segue a little bit. Let's go into that for a second. Tell us about your status as an athlete.
Sure, yeah. I actually ultimately became a Olympian in 1988 in team handball. I started back in '79, and I lived at the Olympic Training Center my senior year of high school. And then it got boycotted in 1980. The Olympics did.
Right.
So I went back home and went to the Air Force Academy after that. And while I was at the Air Force Academy, I got to play handball and travel with the team here and there and still continue my status on the team. But then it was a big decision at the end of '84. One of the goalies had gotten hurt and I still needed to graduate. So in essence, I had to give up my spot, which was really hard at the time. But fortunately, I did get back on the team in '86. And by the time I finally went to the Olympics in '88, I was the old lady on the team.
But you made it to the Olympics. Not many old ladies can say they made it to the Olympics.
And it sounds like somebody met you along the way there, right?
Steve, what did you do at the academy?
I was an instructor there. I'd actually been an Army Ranger for 15 years, and they took me out of the field and said I needed to become civilized. And it was the first time I got to serve with women, so I found the best one and married her.
There you go.
That's nice. All right, so then you guys met. I guess you ultimately, obviously, got married and you started a business. Was it the Amway business, or did you do something else before that?
No, the Amway business was the first thing that we did together. And then eventually it ended up, we ran a kids running program for 20 years called the Land Sharks Running Club. And we started it at zero, and now every season, spring and fall, they have over 3,000 runners. We turned it into a nonprofit, and we have some amazing executive directors that run it for us still.
That's is it a charity or
a straight nonprofit?
Yeah, it's a kids fun run program for ages 5 to 12. It's an after school fun run program, and it's amazing. It's called the Land Sharks Running Club if you want to check it out.
And
Very
it's outdoor or indoor or both?
It's all outdoor. It's cross country in the fall and track in the spring.
I love watching track and field.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. Some of these people are scary fast.
Yeah, the parents love it because it's a way of tiring their kids out, get them to run, play games, and they don't realize they're doing it.
And then they get exhausted and they don't drive everybody crazy when they get home.
Yep.
Exactly.
Quiet
Go to
dinner.
bed.
That's,
Yeah.
that's no ultimate reason for a parent to want to do that. I mean, I can't imagine
No.
that to actually take place.
Uh,
All right, so
So-
now we got that. We got you married, and now you started this running club. And where'd you go from there?
And then I decided once all my kids had graduated from school that I wanted to do something different. And I told Steve I wanted to make what I was worth. And so I decided after meeting a friend to be a loan officer. And I became a loan officer with Churchill Mortgage. And now I'm with Bay Equity Home Loans, an amazing company. And then I've run all my marketing piece out of Rex Enterprises. And just recently, I'm a year away from retiring. Steve just retired a year ago.
Congratulations, best of luck.
Thanks.
I hope you don't get bored.
No, I'm a sponsored professional rider by my wife. I go out and ride my bike 250 miles a week.
There you go. Are you involved also with her honey-do list?
It's pretty short most of the time.
Oh, that's good. Some guys I know have a very, very long list, so you're pretty lucky. I think Lisa now should get involved with Kathy, since you guys sort of like in a similar type of business. Why don't
yeah.
you explain, Kathy, and see if Lisa can join in?
So you mentioned that you're in the lending business, but you're doing primary resident mortgages, correct? And some
Yes, that's what I've
investment?
been doing for the last 7 years. And Steve and I actually 5 years ago looked at ourselves. I was 55, he was 60, and said, man, we got to do something different so we can retire. And we started investing in real estate, thanks to some people that have helped us along the way. And that's what made me write this book, because after just 6 or 7 years, we actually we acquired 4 properties in 18 months, if you can believe it. And then in the next 4.5 years, we paid them all off. And now Steve was able to retire and we live off that income, and I'm joining him right around the corner.
What kind of
Nice.
properties have you purchased?
They were all primary residence, townhouses, and houses. And we just would purchase a home and then turn into a rental, purchase another, turn into a rental, purchase another. And we had a little bit of trial and error and learned a lot along the way. And that's why I wrote the book, Real Estate Investing for the Average Joe.
Okay, let's
Because
repeat
that book-
let's repeat the name of that book again, nice and slowly, so everybody gets it.
Sure. It's Real Estate Investing for the Average Joe. And
Or
we
Jill.
wrote this book because it's exactly what we wish that someone would have handed to us when we got started.
Sort of like the
Ah.
do's and don'ts.
It's not necessarily do's and don'ts, more just do's. But like chapter 1 is get debt free, because that's huge if you're going to be a property owner. Takes a lot of stress off. So if things happen, you don't freak out.
How do you get it for free? I know. Go ahead, tell me. Buy the book and you can find out. I get it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the book's been doing great, and it's such a simple read. Like when people read it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so simple," but yet I can do it. And that was our goal. Also, is we wanted anybody else to go, "Gosh, I could do that," And so people can follow the simple steps, follow one or some of it or all of it, and have success in life.
So
Yes.
how long had you been in the business before you started writing the book?
I had been in the business for 7 years, and I was praying last November for God to give me something I could do in retirement, because I didn't want to just play pickleball and tennis. I wanted to do something meaningful where I could help other people. And he gave me this idea to write this book. And last December, when things started to slow down because the rates went so high,
Yeah.
if I didn't have anything to do that day, I just wrote my book, and it was so easy to write because it's just our story. And then, I had no idea how to publish a book, so it's amazing how God just put people in my path. And I found Adam Fleming from Victory Vision.
Oh, actually, Adam's going to be on in a couple of weeks.
Oh, awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And his
was
company,
God your ghostwriter?
he really was, to be perfectly honest, because it was the easiest book to write because it was just so much sharing my heart in
why
what
was
we
it
did.
so? It can't be that simple to go and write. There has to be some intricacies that you talk about in the book and how to get by them, how to work through them. Yes.
Yes, but a lot of it I had done through my work. So it was super easy to teach it. There are a
Because-
lot of graphs and charts in there to help really explain it. We did use this one product called an all-in-one loan, which most people have never even heard of it.
I never heard of
have
it.
Heard
No,
of
we
it.
hadn't heard of it, no.
Did you hear of it, Lisa? All in one loan?
Nope, I
Yeah.
have not.
And it allowed us to pay everything off really quickly. And it's funny because it took us about 3 years to feel good enough about using it because it was so new and it was so unique. So I really try in chapter 6 of my book to explain that product. So in fact, when I teach my class that goes along with the book, people are like, oh my gosh, that's the best description of an all-in-one loan I've ever heard, because I just simplify what we did.
And I've heard, I saw it on TV as well. I watched that, I don't know what station it is by, but here in New York, it's Channel 30. It's where everyone's fixing their homes and they call in people to go and help them.
HG,
Yeah.
the
So now
Home and Garden
HGTV?
Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what I found is that people are actually, instead of buying a home and redoing it, they're buying a piece of land. And then they take a mortgage out on the land, which has enough money inside of it to build your own custom-made house, and it comes out much cheaper. And I forgot the type of loan that
It's a bridge loan product,
but
but
there was
it's
actually
a construction
term,
loan
there was a
too.
name for it, and it was
Yeah.
just combined together. Do you do things like that, or have you ever done anything like that?
We don't do construction loans at Bay Equity Home Loan, but once people do that, oftentimes you can't get a mortgage for the land. You have to get a bank loan or pay a
A
down
private.
payment in cash.
Yeah.
But then for the construction loan, when you pull those together, it's called a refinance into a regular mortgage. I do those, and I've done those several times. Yes.
Yeah, but you have to bridge it before you have the build out because the banks don't want to look at you until the front door is on and the roof is on. And
But this was a
you've got
different
everything
situation.
inside.
Maybe it's in a different part of the country. I don't remember where it was, but it's actually the entire loan they got. It was enabling them to buy the land and then build on it.
yeah, they
So-
don't do many of those right now. The environment is just not right for it. But yes, there are loans where you acquire the land and get the loan for the build out. But it's a bridge loan. It's a short-term loan until it's built out for either a sale of the property or to finance it into a long-term product that Kathy could bring in.
So you do that too, Lisa?
I do the ground up and the bridge loans. Yes.
And you do, Kathy, you do the bridge loans.
The refinance into a mortgage
So
is what I do.
I see a relationship.
Yes, she does the 30-year
I
part
see
of
it.
it.
I see it right in front of me.
Yep.
So
See that bridge.
how long did it take you to write this book?
The book took me only about 30 days, really. And
30
then
days?
it was just a brain dump of everything inside. I had to do a little research online to go with some of the things. Like one chapter, I talk about what the average homeowner is looking for in a home. So I knew what we were looking for, but I needed to find out, what the rest of the population was. So I did do some research, but a lot of it was just things we had learned along the way.
Were these
And-
people looking for the same things that you and Steve were looking for in a home?
Yeah, pretty much. It's very normalized stuff that makes life convenient and simple. I think when people go to invest in real estate where they're going to turn around and rent it, it's super important not to overbuy. You want to buy a very generic small house. I tell people a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 1-car garage is probably optimal.
Right. And you,
Townhouse or single family, either one. And it's just, and location, right, baby?
Yeah, that's what I
Yep,
was just going
because
to ask you. Where
the
do you
schools-
buy and or sell your properties?
So right now we have 3 in Colorado and our 4th is in Florida. At one point we did have a total of 5, but we actually, our first one we bought, we overbought and we sold it already.
Ah,
3 of them.
right.
But we kept it for 3 years and still made 100,000.
Not too shabby, but
That's good stuff.
you can't be emotional about the real estate that you're investing. A lot of people do get emotional. You need to look at the numbers and make sure it is going to fit in what you're doing. That's so important.
Yep, it's very important. And that's, one of the things I also talk about in my book. And after I wrote it, Adam's company actually did the editing for me.
Oh, nice.
So they edited it.
That's something
which
I'm
was-
going to have to bring up with Adam when he's on the show. I'm sure he'll mention it anyway.
Yep. And then they also, I had certain options. So I picked the option where they did the hard copy book, the paperback book. I also did an ebook and I also did an Audible book. So they provide somebody who will do the Audible reading for you. So and
how do
all
people
3 have
buy
been
your book?
hugely- Say that again.
How do people buy your book?
Yes, you can buy my book at Amazon.com, or you can also go to my website, which is 4, the number 4, so 4averagejoe.com. And if you go to Amazon, just Google my name, Kathy Rex. That's super easy name, Kathyrex. And then, or go to my website's fun because you get to learn more about me and why I wrote the book. And again, that's 4, the number 4, averagejoe.com.
Well, as long as we did
Excellent.
that, let's talk about your phone number too. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, great. Yes, my phone number is 719-231-1124. Let me
Okay.
just repeat it so you can double
Yep,
check
one
it.
more time.
719-231-1124. And that's my cell phone. So you could text or call me, either one.
Okay. Now, Steve, tell us about what you do in this business. I mean, I'm sure you have something to say on what's going on, right?
Well, through the process, we worked together as a team to find the places we wanted to live and invest in. And through this process, while things were slowing down, we just found more time for her to write. And we just talked about the different things she wanted in there and what the overall goal was to get it out to help other people. It's exactly like she said. Most people are just looking for somebody who's done it ahead of them, and has been successful and has time to share it with them. And Kathy's been able to accomplish that in a short, concise book.
And I know there are horror stories out there about having investors take junior investors under their wings and stuff, and the junior investors getting ripped off. So I'm sure your book is a wealth of knowledge for
That
those
was
that are in
very,
investing.
very big out here in Long Island. There were signs all over the place that,
JVs.
oh, it's crazy. And then, it's funny that you mention it because I haven't seen them in quite a while. They must have really went after these people big time.
Well, the interest rate is up in the air right now. So, it's too high. People aren't doing so much at the moment.
My book
Unless-
will still work, even with the higher interest rates. But you have to be careful in the purchase. That's the key.
Right.
And that's the most important thing, is making sure the numbers work before you purchase the home. And you might have to have a little bit in between the homes more than we did, because it takes a little bit to build that equity, but it still will work. And that all in one loan allows you to pay it off so quickly. It's incredible, because most traditional mortgages, when you pay extra each month, it takes it off the back end of the loan. Where an all-in-one loan is like a giant HELOC in essence, so an interest-only loan, the interest rate is slightly higher, but because as you pay extra, it takes it off the upfront, so your payment actually gets reduced. So if you keep paying the same thing, you're actually paying more principal every month.
That's
And
great.
that's what allowed us to do it so quickly.
How did you find
Interesting.
out about it, or did you develop this kind of loan?
No, this loan is actually huge in Australia. And
No wonder we don't
the
hear about it
company,
much here.
most people do it. And the company that we had done financial planning with had talked to us about it. And like I said, it took us a little bit to wrap our hands around it. But once we did, then we're like, oh my gosh, they are right. This is better than we ever thought, you know.
So do people only get that type of loan through you, or they can go any place?
Actually, there's only a few companies. CMG Financial is the company really that is the one that's doing it right now. I don't even do it at Bay Equity Home Loans. I wish I could, but I have a contact there that I turn people on to for that loan particularly. But yeah, it's a
Do you want to give off their information? That's up to you.
Well, why don't we let them contact you directly so you can make the introduction, right?
perfect. That's great.
I would
Yes.
imagine it's so interesting that you should be getting a couple of phone calls on this, on how to.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's a great product that most people have never heard about.
And now, are you able to take it on a business loan for an investment property, or is it all on your personal?
You could do it on an investment property. We did it on a second home initially, and you can only go up to 80% loan to value.
Mhm.
So it was a second home that we had put 20% down on initially and had paid into it for a couple of years, and then we just did a refinance into this product. You can actually buy with this product also.
Do you
Oh,
also do your own
interesting.
closings when you sell property?
I go to every single one of my closings. That's the best part of the whole transaction because I get to shake their hand and say hello.
And collect?
Yeah.
That is payday, correct.
Yeah,
Yes, it is
absolutely.
payday.
Payday is a good thing. I like payday.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, coincidentally, I had a settlement date today as well, but except my settlement was on a concert that I did Saturday night. So it's always one day after the show, then you go back and you shake hands, pick up some money, and then you leave. So I get the feeling. I know just what it's like. Tell us about
Very
some of
nice.
these struggles that people go and have when doing a purchase like you do.
Yeah, the purchase, I mean, we had a couple houses that we went under contract, did the inspection, and we're like, oh, we're not keeping that house. So it's super important that you do an inspection on a home. Because it can look good on the outside, but then when you inspect it, you realize there's struggles. The only other challenge we had is we did have one renter who was interesting, but it was kind of my fault anyway, because I thought we would buy this house and rent it to 5 college students and it would be so great because one of the girls that I was renting to I knew really well, but the other 4 people weren't like her.
Well,
So,
that's when you have to get the parents to also sign the agreements
The lease.
when they're coming in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
exactly. And they did. So at the end, after they had 3 kittens and they weren't allowed to have any pets, the parents, I kept their security deposit and they ended up paying me some additional cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do recommend using a property manager, especially if you're in multiple states like ourselves, because in that way, we have some fantastic property managers that handle everything for us. So it really takes the pressure off us. Most people don't even realize we own the home.
Right. And you don't have to do the vetting of those coming in. The management team does. And that makes a
Exactly.
huge difference. It's worth the fees that you pay for that.
Are you
Yeah.
currently looking
Yeah.
for properties? I mean,
Sorry, you got cut out?
if somebody is out there and they're watching this show and they say, "Oh, look at this," and we're looking to sell or we're looking to buy, are you interested in speaking to those people?
Sure, I could connect them to a great real estate agent. If somebody's looking to buy or sell, I'm the money bag, as I call myself. So I just do the lending piece of it. But that's one thing. If you are going to get in real estate, it's super important to have 4 people, I call them. One is you need a good real estate agent to partner with. The second one is a great lender. The third one is a good property manager. And then the fourth one is a good lawyer / accountant. And they mostly help you with advising, more so than anything else. But
Yeah.
there are certain pieces, like how to title the property in an LLC, that a lawyer needs to do for you. I do all my own QuickBooks, but some people like to have not necessarily accountant. I have an accountant do all our taxes for sure. But some people actually like to hire even a bookkeeper.
Very nice.
So that's your team.
That's my team. Yep. All those people help us and they make it so, it's really peaceful, our lives and what we do managing our properties. And I think also, we decided 4 was good for us. And I think people need to decide how many they want, I know people that own 40. I know people that own
Right.
13,
So with the 4 that you have, you mentioned Colorado and Florida. Where do you live? And are you in your investment homes, or do you have your own other primary residence?
Yeah, that's great. We actually have a house in Florida. That's where we are right now.
Where in Florida are you?
One is in Cape Canaveral.
Of course,
Yeah.
the Air Force Base.
That's good for Steve. Steve must like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we like to see all the rockets go off too. It's super cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one we Airbnb in the summer when we're not here.
Very nice.
And
Yeah. So it pays for all our taxes, insurance, and property maintenance.
you guys are living the life.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then our house in Colorado, we have one townhouse that we actually have a young couple in there renting from us, the nicest couple. And when we come back for 4 months, we actually live together as roommates, because we kept our bedroom there, and it works out great. It's a win-win for both of us, and it's been great. And then we have 2 other properties that have long-term renters in them, in Colorado Springs.
So is that where the other, both in Denver or in Colorado Springs?
All Colorado Springs. All the properties are within 15 minutes.
Oh, that's nice. Now, have you ever dabbled in that Airbnb space?
We have done our Airbnb here. Originally, this house in Florida, how we bought it was our son graduated from the Coast Guard Academy. And when he got his assignment, it was to Cape Canaveral. And Steve and I were like, we could live there. Let's go buy a house. So we did. Yeah.
Nice.
And so that's how we got this one here.
Is your son still in the service?
He actually just recently separated. He served his 5 years, and now he's at the Los Alamos Labs, the National Laboratories in Los Alamos as an engineer.
Oh, so he didn't want to
very
join
nice.
mom and dad in the real estate side of things, huh?
No, but he's going to use his VA loan to purchase a 4-plex, and he'll live in one of the units and rent the other 3.
And I guess
Very
he's
good.
going to
Brilliant
get
idea
a lot of
for many
education
people.
from mom and dad on how to do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
In
Definitely.
fact, it's interesting because Fannie and Freddie actually just approved a change where they're going to let people do conventional loans starting November 18th. They're going to let people do conventional loans on multifamily homes for just 5% down.
Wow.
Wait a minute. That's crazy.
They just announced it. All
Wow.
the details have not been released. Like, I'm sure every lender will come up, with their
With their
specifics.
plan. Yeah.
Mhm.
When did they
But,
make this announcement?
They just made that announcement last month, or maybe it was the beginning of October. And it happens effective the 18th of November.
Can't wait to
Yeah,
get
the
with
two-
you and have a huddle and learn all about it.
Yeah.
Heck, I see a one-on-one coming.
Definitely.
All right, well, what we're going to do now is hopefully pay some bills. So we're going to take a short break, and we want everybody to stay tuned, and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
My
Thank
name
you.
is Lisa Rodino. I am a commercial loan advisor and broker. Have you been finding that your business's cash flow is not where you need it to be? Have you found yourself taking from your personal accounts to meet your business's obligations? Have you found that those quick solutions of quick money are starting to get awfully expensive? my job is to find the right funding products for my clients so they can get back to working in their business and give me the task of finding the best options for their situation. Give us a call today to learn more. 516-268-0350.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show. Okay, welcome back to the Business Awareness Hour, where we have Rex Enterprises here, Kathy and her husband, Steve Rex. That's a great name. You know, Mike to the Michael Weiner, I made an announcement that we're doing your show this evening. He says, yeah, you got to catch Kathy Ray. What? I said, who's Kathy Ray? What, isn't that her last name? I said, no, it's Rex. Oh, Kathy Rex. So everybody got a chuckle about that. Your website, if I'm not mistaken, it's www.averagejoe.com. And you can't see it, but we got it up on the screen for people to take a look at for you. And basically, it's all about the book overview, which you explain, and then about the author. So tell us a little bit more about the author.
Well, you've kind of heard a little bit through all the interviews so far, but basically, I went to the Air Force Academy and graduated in 1984. So proud member of the class 84 from USAFA. And then I took a couple assignments, and that's where I met Steve, teaching at the Air Force Academy in the PE department. And then I decided to get out so we could have some kids and raise a family. So we did that. And then I actually did a couple jobs in finance, and then we ended up just having kids, and I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That was my dream.
It's more fun having kids, right?
Yep. I did
Yeah,
that.
we have three boys. Our oldest, Kobe, was actually a loan officer underneath me, assistant loan officer.
Oh, nice.
And then he went to the Air Force Academy also, and is married and has our 2 grandchildren.
Oh,
So
congratulations. Good stuff.
Yes.
I have 7. I got 7 grandkids.
And I have 2 in the oven.
There you go. She's baking.
Oh, that's exciting.
She's baking.
Yes. Yep. I have my oldest daughter. But first, my youngest son, who's 9 years her junior, announced after his wedding, they had a honeymoon. They're having a honeymoon baby. They announced they were pregnant. And then she announces in the same family text that she's expecting too. So it's like, okay, they're both due in May.
Oh, wow. That's
good
awesome.
Yeah. So that'll
Kathy,
be fun.
You got to tell me, break it here. Is there a second book on the way?
Oh, I do have a second book in my head. It's called Real Estate Investing for the GI Joe. With
That's brilliant.
with myself being Air Force and Steve was Army. We have a ton of experience in the military, with military, and I would say over 50% of my loans right now are VA loans. And I have the pleasure of a lot of my real estate partners are actually also Academy grads, which is a really nice connection. So I hope with the book, Real Estate Investing for the GI Joe, one day to maybe go visit other grads across the country and be able to share my book.
I can help you with that a little bit. when the
Yeah,
time
with Mike
comes
Martin.
to start marketing, not just with Mike Martin, but there are other people that I know from doing fundraising concerts for them, the Army vets and Navy vets and so on. Actually,
Yep.
I have a colonel on the show Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Out
In
of
2
Kansas.
days.
His name is
Yep.
Colonel Billard. That's his name. Doc Billard is his name, and he'll be on Thursday evening. A little plug for the doc.
Yes.
Mhm.
And he's out of Indiana, I believe, if I saw that correctly.
Maybe Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, all the same, right?
No, it's
the
not
same?
all the same.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
Okay, so
Uh,
we discussed the team that we need. What would you call the key to your success?
The key
First
to
of
our
all, you
success
work
with
together
the real
great.
estate investing
Just in general.
in life.
Yeah.
life, I would say number one, a positive attitude. Number two, great mentorship. And number three, just knowing how God is in you and can help you conquer any dream or goal that you have.
Yeah.
I think also, and as an outsider looking in, the life you've led and the accomplishments you had before you jumped into this phase of your life were huge in making the two of you, whom you've been in so many different things, and it's crazy. Everyone's been successful. Or you're not telling us about the ones that weren't, but the ones that you told us have
She
been.
doesn't have to give everything up.
Well, I mean, it's
Been
part of
very
the story.
successful. We both had, I mean, everybody, you learn by advancing forward, whether it's
Exactly.
from failure or from success.
Yep.
You just don't stop moving. And the thing that always impressed me about Kathy was she was so humble and approachable by other people. When she was a member of the USOC, she sat in a meeting for 3 days beside George Steinbrenner and talked to him like we're talking right now. And he turned around and said, how would you like to be on the executive committee and take care of the Winter Olympic site selection crew?
Wow,
Awesome.
that's
And he
huge.
just trusted her after 3 days of just sitting there talking, having a great time. She had no idea who he was.
Well, I got to tell you, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the two of you one-on-one yet, but I have had the pleasure of doing a one-on-one with Kathy. And the feedback, on not just from me, but from other people, through our group, is huge on you.
Hmm.
It's huge on you. So
Oh,
you got a lot of people over there that are very responsive to you, and things that you go and say. You got it, girl.
Yes. And you haven't been there a whole lot yet. You've only been in about 6 months or so, or not even, since Adam introduced you and you joined us. So,
And tomorrow you get a chance to be on again because that's your date. Philly date is tomorrow.
That
Yeah.
is, and it's such a great group of people. I mean, it was pretty easy from right away to tell that the heart of it is shares my heart. Because that's really the most important thing out there.
Do you ever
yes.
think about maybe doing a book like the life of a real estate agent?
She's not an agent. She's not a real estate
A
agent.
real estate broker. I mean, it's got to be it's a great money making business. You got to when you make it big. All right, because that's just the way the commissions are. And I used to work for Remax prior to in New York when the monk went
Wait a
down.
minute. You were a real estate agent, Norman?
Yeah, I worked
I
in
never knew
Remax
that.
in Kings, not Kings Park, out east.
Yeah.
Right on 25A.
Yeah, I know it. Um,
And my
I know that
broker was
area.
an accountant. His father was a broker, owned a couple of agencies. And then he sold the agency, and two women came in. Let's put it like this. They wore black every single day. They had a black briefcase. They had black cars. And they were very unresponsive to the people that worked for them. And I don't go that way. I mean, I'm in my business and whatever. I'm there for them, and that's what you have to be as a boss and as an owner. You got to be there for your people. Example. I mean, there was one situation where I got referred to a home, and the home need terrible amount of repairs. I mean, really, it was basically unsellable. So I made an appointment for one of the owners, one of the brokers, to show up. Let's say it was 12 o'clock. She decided to stroll in at 10 minutes to 2. No phone calls, no nothing. Needless to say, the seller wasn't very happy. You can't do things like that. I mean, if you want to do it in your own side of the thing, but when you're doing it for someone that works for you, not right. Not right. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My mom always taught me 2 really important things. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you don't have anything nice to say, bite your tongue.
Don't say
Yep.
it. No, sometimes I have to
sure.
fight that urge.
I
Because I do
have
get
teeth
in there.
marks.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear what you said.
I have teeth marks on my tongue.
On the inside or on the outside? Mine are on the inside. Chew it. Lisa, do you have any more questions for Kathy or Steve? Because, we kind of like covered it all. I don't know where to go from here.
Well, tell
I
us.
know, your events. Let's talk about your events and the stuff that you're going to be putting on your website.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So the thing that's been really successful in helping me sell my books is I've made some courses from the book, small pieces of the book that I'll teach on, like 1-hour courses where real estate agents will get continuing education credit. And so when I teach those, I, typically get anywhere from 10 to 15 people at the class, and I'll sell anywhere from 25 to 30 books because they'll be like, wow, this is great. And, they'll pick up 3 or 4 because it's something most real estate agents, most lenders, they're going to want 3 or 4. They can have them on hand. So if somebody comes up who's a new client, says, gosh, I really would like to try to do this real estate investing, you're like, read this.
Right.
Kathy, do you
so
ever-
I really am enjoying the classes.
Do you ever sell your books to brokers that actually have a large staff and have them buy them for their people?
Yeah, I did that. My first purchaser actually on Amazon was a gentleman who let me come in about a month before the book was released, and he bought 20 for all his brokers. Yep.
And you had,
25. Yep.
and I
Yep.
bet you had Adam sweating to get him out on time.
Well, it's so interesting now. The way that Amazon does it is they have the electronic version of the book, so they just print on demand.
Oh,
So they don't have to have a huge inventory. Isn't that interesting?
Interesting.
they're crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've ordered things from Amazon and I've received them within an hour.
Yeah.
Well, you're in New York.
Yeah, I'm just
You're in New
saying,
York,
but within
too.
an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
Crazy. They knew they were watching you. They knew you needed that.
They don't want to screw around with me.
There you go.
The other thing I've been really fortunate to have is a few agents are like, oh man, I want to use your book as a thank you gift, because they often give a gift at the end of the closing.
Right.
And so they'll buy it like 50 or 100 at a time from me. And then I help them create a little sticker label that we can put inside the front cover, that has all their information in there, a thank you and stuff. So that's been hugely successful too. So
Have you been after any of the other real estate people in NRG and try to do the same thing with them?
right now, I'm only licensed in Florida and in Colorado for actually business deals, but for doing these books, I could call almost everybody in NRG.
Yes.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
your
great
book
idea.
can be nationwide. It doesn't matter
you just
where.
you just want to sell the book. You're not doing any, business deals. Your
Right.
business deal is actually selling of the book.
Right.
Now, are you a realtor in Colorado and in Florida, or you're doing your loans in Colorado and Florida?
I'm a licensed loan officer in both.
Loan
those-
officer. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a loan officer in both those states, and I partner with realtors. I've got great realtors in both
Right.
that I can connect people with. But yeah, and then the other thing I'd like to do too is I'm in the process of, when I teach my book, I'm trying to record that so I can put it on the website so people could actually download that and watch my class on the book right online. And other people have also wanted me to put together a little workbook to help people. So that's something that I'll do this December when I have sometime.
You can tie that workbook into a Zoom meeting and charge for the meeting.
Yeah.
You know, there's
definitely.
somebody else that's an NRG. I don't know if you know Bill Sammons in Maryland.
Oh, the
I
name
think he-
sounds really familiar.
I
don't know
think
if
he's got a
met him.
nice sized practice down in Maryland as well. You may want to look him up in the database,
Yeah.
you know, and
Will
say
do.
hello.
Will do.
Yeah.
Lisa, you have any suggestions for Kathy?
Yeah, no, I think getting your book out there nationwide, start
Abs-
going through that list that we have for realtors,
Mhm.
because that gift idea is really remarkable, because it will get them return business if they have people talking about investing.
So we just started a new business for you. How's that?
There you go.
Right
Yeah.
now, you got to do is find somebody to go and do the legwork, you know, and do the
Yep.
research, and you and your husband just skip along holding hands like you're doing now. So, which is all good.
Yeah.
Any
And-
other questions? Go ahead,
Oh, well, I was gonna, now you got my losing it. No, you guys were in the military. Have you ever heard of the Civil Air Patrol? Did any of your sons ever utilize it?
Heard of it? We had a friend that did a big time in high school. Our kids never did. Yeah.
Okay, because that's a huge organization out there, and that's a great place where retirees from the military go and volunteer. And they help the cadets being ages 12 to adulthood. They're taught leadership skills. They're taught about search and rescue. They can get flights at no charge for their first couple of flights. And they also can get their licenses as they progress and grow through the programs. So that's a good program, and it's a good place to find the vets that are out there serving the communities. So you might want to look into them too, because
Awesome.
you
Thank
have history there. Yeah.
It's like you don't have enough to do.
Yeah,
so
you don't
we're-
have to.
You know, we're
No,
gi- we're
I was
giving
I
you-
was a volunteer way back when I had a son interested in aviation. Now he's an aviation mechanic over in DC. So
Oh,
You know, and
that's
it's
great.
and it's interesting. It's such a small world. I've known Lisa for a number of years from other networking groups, and my ex-partner, who had left the Business Power Hour in December, happened to be a lieutenant commander. What was his rank?
he was
Colonel?
I believe you were right with the lieutenant commander, but he was also the leader over there, or the cadet squad. He was the
in
captain.
charge,
He was in
bottom line.
charge. He was
He-
the
he-
director
he
of
was in
the
charge.
squadron.
and he was there for quite a while.
Yeah,
That-
and I
that-
was in
the-
for a bunch of years too.
Yeah, training, and we had
Yep.
no idea at that time. Just a matter of conversation. It just happened, you know, to pop out. But I would like to thank the two of you for being here this evening. You killed.
Oh,
very
thank you so
very-
much for the opportunity. We just so
Very
appreciate it.
very informative. Very
Yes,
informative.
great stuff. And when you have clients that you can't get financed because their personal credit is less than adequate for you,
You're soliciting. Go ahead, go finish it.
give me a call, because we have a credit remediation team that can help.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Always good to
Yes.
know, because yeah, I have
They
one
come up.
company right now that I send most of my clients to, but that would be awesome. So
Yeah, and
Great.
we don't take 2 years to get them to their mortgage.
awesome.
We can do it much more quickly. Yes. Yeah.
She's very good at what she does. I can tell you from personal experience.
Awesome.
Thank
I
you,
had to
Norman.
use out of need. I
Well,
would-
thanks you guys. And Norman, you look so handsome tonight.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Watch it, Steve.
I know.
Yep.
I'm in tough
Be
competition.
careful.
Yeah, Norman's always on when the
I was
camera's
like,
on.
Maybe
That's
it's
his
the
place.
earphones and the glasses. I don't see you that way on the Zoom calls. So you
Well,
just
I
look
wear
so-
glasses at every Zoom call. You didn't look close enough.
Well,
Well,
you know,
hopefully-
it's the Brady Bunch look there. We've only
Yeah.
got 3 here.
Well, I really appreciate the two. Steve, I was happy that you could join.
Yeah,
was really- that was really great. It was-
part of
it's
the
a
deal
ple-
tonight.
it's a
We
pleasure
had
meeting
a lot
you.
of
You got-
surprises today. It's been
You
fun.
got one hell of a
Okay.
wife. And
Yeah.
as long as she was mentioning, so let me mention something to you. You have a charity. You want to talk to me when you get a chance,
Yes.
because
And-
that's my main business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
He does the fundraising side of those charities. So
That's
he
what I
does a good
do.
job with that.
Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on, guys. Don't go away. Just hang out for a while as
Yep.
we say goodnight.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
hang on.
I don't know about you, but I got educated.
Yes, you
Now I gotta
did.
find a
and I
reason to
got
go-
some too.
Now I got to use some of this education. But I am going to recommend now, so well, I know Kathy is listening to this, on my 15 or so shows that I do at NRG weekly, there's a number of people that I like, not just exist there, but that I like, that I think could be a great relationship partner for Kathy and for Stephen regarding the real estate books. That
So you should start doing three-way introductions like Mike does.
Oh, no, Mike
Or
should do the
Kathy.
three. I do my own introductions my way. He does them his way. And,
Okay.
and they all work, so that's good. Any way is good for you is good for me.
Yes.
So we're going to see everybody on Thursday with
Yep.
Colonel Doc Bullard. All right, here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope that everyone will tune in, because this man at 83 years of age has a real interesting story being in the service. And he has a foundation that he's going to talk to everybody about. So I thank everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock sharp. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
The Business Awareness Hour with Lisa and the Music Man is brought to you by Media Stations in Bohemia, New York. Create your own media and have your own station. That's Media Stations in Bohemia, New York. 516-448-2066 or visit mediastationsinc.com.